Hey everyone, it's Lexi. In today's video I'll be doing a haul of everything that I purchased basically I think since April on to May. So I have a couple books here, some Funko Pops, and a movie as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So I forgot to film this part when I was filming yesterday, so I'm doing it now. But this is something that I think is really exciting. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you will know that I am a huge Bones fan. Like, I love it. It is like my all-time favorite TV show. Like, I went into anthropology because of that. Like, one of my majors was anthropology. Anyway, but yeah, so the show ended this year, and so they were having an auction for like some of the things that were on the set. So some of the stuff like ended up like going to be like, I know the one the wedding dress was over $1,000, so I was like, no, I'm not spending that much money. I am a graduate student, so I ended up getting like the cheapest thing that you could get because I don't think anyone wanted to bid on it. But I ended up getting this. It's a really weird, like this oven, hot pad, and oven mitt set. I don't know, I just like, it was $25, it was the cheapest thing, and it was like right towards the end of the auction, so it was either this or nothing. So I went with this, and it's actually neat because I was able to find the episode that it was in, and it still has like the sauce that they were using on here. Like, I'll show you close-ups with it, but I really like actually this pattern. So like once I go back to my apartment at school, I'll bring this along with me. And it also came with this letter of authenticity as well, which is really neat. So yeah, I was really excited to kind of have this. It's really weird, I know, but I was like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting, because like I remember seeing that from somewhere, and I found the episode that it was in. It may have been in more, but this is the one that I remember it in. But that is just like, it's so neat. If you're like a big bonehead like me, like this is like the big deal. So I'm going to start out with the books first. So the first one is actually a library book, but I thought I'd include it in here. I have reviews for all these books, and I will link it up in the cards. I don't know, I can never remember. I think it's this one, but I could be really wrong. But yeah, if I have a review, I have a review for all of these. So if you're interested, I will link them in the cards and down below if you want to go check them out, what I think about them. There will be like a spoiler-free one for each of these. So this one was actually one that I got from the library, and because I really wanted to read it because it was Emma Watson's book, like Goodreads book club pick for the month of May and June, and it was The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I got this from the library because I wasn't sure if it'd be something that I maybe would purchase in the future, so I saved myself a couple of dollars here. And so yeah, I actually really ended up liking this. I'll do like a wrap up, but yeah, it basically follows a girl named of Fred, who it takes place in a dystopian America where it's a patriarchal society where the government was overthrown, and now it's like run by a misogynistic group, and basically women have lost all rights like for their body, just for life in general. And Offred is a handmaid, so her sole responsibility is to make children and for like from the commanders, and it's just like, it's a dystopian society, but I can actually see it happening in the future, and I think this is a really relevant read, especially everything going on with like America's president and all that. So I think this is something really relevant. I wouldn't recommend reading this if you're under 16, but yeah, this is something I think every girl needs to read, just because even though it's a dystopian, I can really see this happening, and it does shed light on a lot of issues that have been like very like in the news a lot. So I think this is something is really relevant, especially now. So next, these two are probably some of my most anticipated books of this year, and I was really excited. They both came out on the same day, and so yeah, the first one is The Pearl Thief by Elizabeth Wein, and this is like the prequel to Codename Verity, and it follows Julie, who was one of the main characters in that book. And I'll just do a synopsis of it, but it's like Julie wakes up in a hospital, and it basically is one of her family is missing, and he disappeared on the same day she landed in the hospital. So I think this is what is really interesting. I really love Julie. I think she was just such an interesting character, and I think this one is really exciting. I haven't read this now, I'm kind of pre-filming this, so I haven't read this one yet, but I definitely will have a review up before this video comes up, so, and I'll kind of tell you more what I think about it. But if you are a fan of Codename Verity, basically it is a book that follows two women during World War II, Julie, who is captured by the Nazis and she is making like her confession, and then Maddie, who is her friend, who is a fighter pilot, and it just kind of shows their friendship and their ups and downs basically during the war. And so yeah, like that was probably one of my most favorite books of all time. Like I was so moved by it. So yeah, I was really excited when I saw that there'd be a prequel to Julie, because I think we don't really get a lot of her background, so I think this one will be really interesting to read. Next, this is one that I was also super excited about, and I know many of you were, and it was A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This came out the same day as The Pearl Thief, and this is the third book in A Court of Thorns and Roses series, but this is the last book with Farah and Rhysand's storyline, even though like I'm sure they'll make appearances later on. But this is basically a continuation of the story of the series so far. It follows a girl named Farah who is a human, and one day when she is hunting in the woods by her house, she ends up killing this wolf, but he's actually a fae, and so part of the treaty that was forged like 500 years ago, she has to pay a life debt and she has to go live in the fairy realms, and basically that's where the story takes off from there. But the first book is very, very different from where this rest of the series takes place, especially the second one. I really enjoyed this, so I was really happy. I have my review of it down below. I'll have like my review, you can see, check that out, but I'll explain more of what I felt about it in the wrap up. But yeah, I was really excited. I was like, oh my goodness, this book is so tiny compared to the last one, but it was just like just under, it was like $6.99 or like something crazy like that in terms of pages, so like it was bigger. They just used a really thin like tissue paper so yeah. But overall I was really, really excited, and this cover is just beautiful. So moving on to movies, I only purchased one, and it was Hidden Figures, and it basically follows the story of three women who worked at NASA during the space race that took place in the 60s with Russia, and it follows, I forget her name, Catherine, who was I think it follows Catherine, Dorothy, and Mary, who are work at NASA's, but because of all the racial prejudice going on, especially because they're women as well, they weren't really considered to have value. But when they ended up playing a big role in just kind of the spacecraft in the future of NASA, so I think this is really interesting. It's kind of the untold story because you don't really hear about these kind of stories, so I think it's really interesting. It's a really well done movie. I really enjoyed it, so if you're looking for a good movie, this is one that's really good. If you're, if the patriarchy is getting you down, go check this movie out. Lastly, I got a bunch of Funko Pops. I do have a bit of a problem, but I'm still searching for one. I can't find it, but this is going to be the last of my Funko Pops for a while because they basically take up all my shelves. But yeah, let me get started. So the first one that I have is this Belle, the one that she wears with her like cape that she wears in the Something More scene. This is like the Emma Watson version of Belle, which I really like. Yeah, I'll show you a close-up of these, but yeah, I really like it. There's a lot of detail in her like apron and the dress. I really like these. I still have been on the lookout for the Village one that is only sold at Walmart, but it's not available online. Like it's out of stock. Like it's not even in stock. Like I don't think it ever was in stock, so I've been on the lookout for that. So like I've been keeping my eye on the website to see if it's there. That'll be the only one I see myself getting in the future. But yeah, I really like this one, so I got my little Belle thing to add to my Beauty and the Beast collection. Okay, so I can't hold all these at once, but I was in a very big Fantastic Beasts theme after the movie came out. Like I was like in love with it, so I got the whole quartet of the Funko Pops. I still want to get the Niffler, but I'm holding out on that for now. So I ended up getting Tina, Queenie, Jacob, and then I ended up also getting Newt as well. So I have, let's see if I can hold it on. hold all of them in. But yeah, I ended up getting all 4 of them. I was really happy. I really like all of these. Like, I love the style of this movie. We watched the movie with my family and my mom's like, I like the movie, because she doesn't really like Harry Potter. She's like, can we watch it again? And I was like, oh, okay. But she's like, that Newt guy's hair was just ridiculous. And I was like, okay, Mom, okay. But yeah, so I have the whole quartet here that I'll have to add to my little Harry Potter shelf that I have all those on. So yeah, I loved it. I can't wait for the next one to come out next year. It's really exciting. So next I also got this one. It was like the Ariel in her little dress that she wears at the end of the movie. I don't know, sometime. I know she wears this to dinner. I don't know where else she wears it, but I'll have like the one, like her blue dress that she wears, but then I also wanted to get this one as well. Ariel is one of my favorite princesses growing up, so of course I had to get this one as well. It's also nice because it's like she has a sturdier base so she doesn't topple over. That's the thing about these Funko Pops. I love them, but they always tip over, like, no matter what you do. So yeah, I have this one here as well, so yeah. And lastly, for the Funko Pops, I have this Rapunzel one. I have like her Rapunzel one that came with Pascal, but I really like this one. It has all the details of like when she's in the village with her hair. I really liked it. That's why I said Tangled is one of my favorite Disney movies, so of course I had to get, she has like a little thing on her head, but yeah, of course I had to get this one as well. So yeah. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think about some of these books and what is your favorite Funko Pop that you have. So yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and I will see you next time. Bye, guys!